Good morning. Good morning or good afternoon. Let's see how I set my camera up. The light is funky, but whatevs. A little bit better there. Hi, Yogi Joe. Hi, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I am in my back room. Hi. Oh, so good to see you. Misty, how are you? Oh my God, it's been forever. How was your time away from social media? Was it good? Hi, Saskia. Good morning or good evening. Good morning. I think it's super duper early in the morning for you, right? Early morning. Hi, loves. Hi, Sam. Good morning. Hi, Zachy baby. I am in my back room, which was originally my bedroom, but you guys know that I moved my bedroom. I've missed you, Misty. I moved my bedroom into my living room, and I created the back room as I have to get all this work done this week, 8 p.m. Oh, that's not that bad. I have to get all this work done and I have to do all these recordings. So I have created this space back here as like my sanctuary of like, get your shit done, get your work done. I have like Isis, Kuan Yin, my crystals. I'm like ready to go. It's on. So on. Anyways, coffee, morning time chat. So last week when I did IG Live, I kept getting cut off. So I just X'd out of it. And this week, so last week I was going to talk about empathy. Empathy has been around me all the last couple weeks. When I took the course into the Crystal Rose Flame Temple, a lot of empathy was coming up, and I was like, God, empathy is so boring to talk about. Everybody knows about empathy, and I really didn't want to talk about it. And then Adama kept saying, talk about empathy, and I was like, okay. And what I was hearing was it's not just empathy for others, which is what I was thinking, right? It was empathy for ourselves. So here's the funny thing. So empathy, for those of you that are like, okay, what's the difference between empathy and compassion, right? Compassion is where you feel for somebody. You're like, oh, you're sending them love. It's like you're not connecting necessarily to what their experience is, but you're loving them. You're having compassion for them. You are I don't know, sending them love or whatever you want to do when you have compassion for someone. Empathy is totally different. Empathy is when you actually put yourself in, hi, Brandy, when you actually put yourself in the other person's shoes. So it has nothing to do with loving them necessarily or having compassion for their experience. It is about feeling and not taking on their feelings, but feeling and understanding what they're going through so that you can then have compassion for them, right? So, for instance, let's say you're in a relationship and you guys get into a fight, or let's just say they come home and they're in a really bad mood and they take it out on you, right? So the first thing you can do is get angry and upset. This is about me. Why are they coming at me? Blah, blah, blah. Then you could stop for a second, right? And try to have empathy. So having empathy would be, okay, let me put myself in their shoes. They just had a really long day. They're super exhausted. Maybe they told you they got in a fight with their boss. So you stop for a second. You put yourself in their shoes. So you're experiencing what that moment feels like for them, what that life feels like for them. You feel it, you experience it, so you empathize with them, and then it's no longer about you, right? So, and this can be for anybody. This can be for any experience. Um, when you get triggered by somebody, when you get when you're out and about in the world and you're driving around and somebody does something that pisses you off, or you're in the checkout line, right? You stop for a minute because listen, having compassion, it's like, okay, not like having compassion is a bad thing because it's totally not. You need to have compassion, but having compassion is kind of like level one, right? Like, okay, having compassion is sort of easy because there's not much effort in it. You don't really have to uh, you don't really have to feel as much. Where with empathy, you got to get in there. You've got to be able to put yourself in that person's shoes, and it takes it to a whole different level. Let me think of another example of having empathy for somebody. Oh my God, Donald Trump just came into my head. I'm not going there. Um, another way to have empathy for someone. Okay, so let's say that there's somebody that is walking down the street and they are, they've got all these children with them and they're stressed out and they're angry. And you do something when you walk by and it pisses them off, right? And they do something or say something to you. So initial reaction is, um, you know, forget you or whatever you're going to say to them, right? Or internalize something or whatever. But empathy would be like, okay, wow, look at what she's going through. Look at what's happening with her. Look at the experience she's having. What would I be doing? What would I be thinking? How would I be handling that? How would I feel? That's empathy. You have a best friend or a friend that somehow lives life totally different than you do, right? Um, Put yourself in their shoes. What would that look like? What would that feel like? How would I be doing my life if I was in her shoes? A drug addict, an alcoholic. Can you put yourself in their shoes? Can you put yourself in the shoes of a homeless person? So when you see a homeless person, instead of seeing that homeless person as completely separate from you and what stupid mistakes they may have made, or how could they even be there, or why are they not working, or whatever it may be, can you stop for a second and put yourself in their shoes? What would I feel if I was sitting in that on that street right there with that sign? What does that feel like? What is that? How can I get myself in there and experience that and then see it from a totally different place? And if you do that on a regular basis, so for those of you that do have empathy and are able to empathize, and now here's another thing that just popped up. Empathy, is that the same word that everybody uses about how they're really super emotional or really sensitive? Is that empathy? Is that what people are calling empathy? I see it on Instagram all the time. Somebody respond. You know how like on Instagram everyone's like, oh no, sensitive, right? Is that the word they use? Point being that we're not all empathic. Thank you. Totally different. Yes, that's it, Brandy. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I hate to burst your bubble, but I'm going to burst it for a second. Empathic, right? Empathic means you can feel, okay? So again, this is um, a very, hope I don't step on people's shoes, a very surface level word and a very surface level uh, experience. We're all empathic. We all can feel. It's a matter of intensity, right? And um, empathic comes from the word empathy, okay? Empathy is a totally separate level of awareness and experience and feeling, okay? And even for those of us that say we have empathy, the more empathy you have, the less judgment you have. The more empathy you have, the less criticism, the less anger, the less resentment. So think about really how empathic you are. And empathic has nothing to do with really being able to feel emotions. Yes, you should be able to feel emotions. That's part of it. Can you put yourself in somebody's shoes? Can you feel what somebody else is feeling? And here's the thing, you guys. You're all light workers, okay? You're all beautiful beings of light. Stop believing in the paradigm that you're taking on people's energy. Stop. That is an old paradigm that does not need to exist any longer at all in your lives. Because if you think about what an empath is somebody that puts themselves in somebody else's shoes, experiences what they're going through, and then feels for them, loves them, is able to have compassion for them now. And you don't take on that person's stuff. Being an empath doesn't take on someone else's stuff. Being an empath, having empathy, is being able to hold in your own space very safely, because you are your own container, and experience and feel what somebody else is feeling, right? Now, if somebody comes into your space and they're very, very powerful, they're like, they're like really needing to like throw stuff onto you. Okay, fabulous. You can feel that because you're an empath or empathic, right? You can feel it. Most people can, as long as they get in touch with it. Stop buying into the paradigm that it's going to impact you. Stop buying into the paradigm that you're going to get drained from them. Stop buying into that paradigm. It's like any other paradigm that we're shifting out of, okay? That you are your own self-contained container. You can believe and you can have any experience you want, okay? So if you want to believe that people's energy drains you, awesome, they will. It will. If you believe that your work is so draining from other people that you have to sleep afterwards and all that, and I hope I'm not, God bless those that have that experience, but you don't need to. You don't need to. We did not come down here as spirits to be doing our very, very powerful energetic work that we're here to do, to be drained by people. Stop for a second and think about that. Do you really think that we would say, you know what, when we all start waking up and start doing our work as light workers, and we start really stepping into our purpose and our power and really coming out and expanding our light, please God, I would love for me to be energetically drained at all times, and for me to always have people's energy coming onto me. No, not at all. That's not, yes, that does happen to people. It is not the natural state of being. Your natural state of being is not to be energetically drained by people, so that you can, and you don't have to put up a shield. You are already contained just by sitting here. Now, I've had very, very crazy experiences with super crazy narcissists, beyond any narcissist you could imagine. Times that by 100. And I've sat in the same room with this person for hours and hours and hours. And the only thing that happened to me was that I would get angry, or I would get, my energy would fester inside, right? I was reacting to that person's energy, but that person's energy wasn't coming into my space. I was just sitting and experiencing that person's energy and reacting to it. Totally different thing. Their energy wasn't moving into me and draining me. I was experiencing that person's energy and I would react to it. So perhaps that's part of what's happening, is us trying to figure out, as we're opening up as light workers, right? And expanding our light and moving in the world as more light and less density. So the more light we have, the more light we expand, the more light we become, the more energetic we become, right? And the more we are able to feel. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that we are taking on people's energies. You have to stop that belief system. You are becoming more energetic. You are becoming, it's like you're a beacon, right? And so the brighter your beacon becomes, the more you're feeling. It's like, what the hell's going on, right? You're starting to really feel. That is not the same as taking on people's energy. Okay? So if you are taking on people's energies, switch that belief system. Switch the belief system. Switch it. I do powerful work with people. I do powerful work with people. I don't ever take on anyone's energy. I never have, and I'm grateful for that because I know there are people that do. But you don't have to anymore. So this message that is coming down right now for me to you guys is that you don't have to anymore. That's not why we're here. You can't. You can't do your work. You can't do your work if you are staying in that paradigm of other people's energies coming in. Let me give you an example. I work with the beings inside Telos. They're real. They're ancient. They're normal people. Okay? They walk the planet just like you and I. They ascended on the planet just like you and I. They were very, very highly evolved beings. They're very, very open. They're very big light beings. Guess what? They don't take on people's energies. They don't take on people's energies. They don't. They're aware. They are aware of the different frequencies of energy. So if somebody goes into Telos that is not quite at that right frequency, they are aware of that. And they know what's theirs and what's not theirs. So they are conscious of that difference. But never once does somebody leave Telos and the beings and the Lemurians sit there and go, oh shit, I'm so drained from that person's energy. It's not, stop that thinking that somebody's energy is draining you. That's like a victim mentality, right? And this is going to probably piss off a lot of people if they watch it, and if you're still watching it probably isn't pissing you off, but stop that thinking. Nobody's doing anything to you. Nobody. You walk into a place and you're like, oh shit, the energy is bad in here. Well, whatever bad means, right? The energy is intense in here. Okay, great. The energy is intense, right? You can make the choice that you're either going to let that energy impact you, right? And you can feel how you're engaging in that energy and reacting. So there's a difference between letting somebody's energy come into you and reacting to it. And then even more important is to just see it, right? Is to just be like, oh, wow, that person's energy is this. Oh, wow, walking into that room, I felt this. But not saying any longer that I'm an empath and therefore people's energy gets stuck onto me, or therefore people's energy drains me, or therefore you got to stop it. You got to stop, because your light is getting big and your light is only going to get bigger. And if you play into the old paradigm, see, the old paradigm makes sense, because the old paradigm, we weren't these huge light beings. We were a physical, we were super dense, right? And so there wasn't this understanding and these boundaries that are around us now, unconsciously. You have stuff around you. You're protected. You don't have to worry. Now, if you are experiencing these drainings, these energy suckages, ask yourself what your belief system is. And then you can be as frustrated as you want that you don't want to believe a certain thing. And then let it go. Believe something different. Trust. Stop for a second and think about this one. Think of all the guides you work with. Think of the ascended masters that are around you that work with you on a daily basis. Think of your star families that are with you on a regular basis. You think they're going to allow people's energy to come in and wipe you out? Mm-mm. Mm-mm. They're not. They're not going to let that happen. So, it's interesting in the spiritual community, God bless us all, that we get fixated on certain terms and we get fixated on certain experiences. And there was a day and a time for those to be important, like in the 90s or the 2000s. But you have to understand, when people talk about the ascension and when we talk about the new earth and new paradigms, this is what we're talking about. These terms that we're using that are holding us back, that we think are terms that are allowing us to grow. And they're not. They're actually holding us back. Nobody and no one's energy can drain you. Nobody has the ability to, what's it called? When you go into somebody's space. I forgot the word. Penetrate. Nobody can penetrate. Nobody can penetrate your space and your energy. Whether you put up a damn freaking shield around you or whatever you want to do. Now, this is not to say if you do work, you know that you create your own sacred space. You invade. Yes, thank you. Invade. That is it. We all have to have a container that's sacred and special and safe. That's super duper important. That is different. So when you're working with people, you know that you create that safe space. You create whatever it is that you create for yourself when you're doing your work. That's important. And that's important because your guides are assisting you and telling you how to do that. It's also important for you to do it for your client. But when you're out in the normal everyday world, okay, and if you're doing that for you and your client, then how the hell are they draining your energy? They're not. Stop. I had no idea this was the topic. This was going to happen. It's totally hilarious. I love the way I love the way how you start to get information. You think you're going to start talking about one thing, and then the next thing you know, you're like on this rampage about something totally different. And then it totally feels right. But anyways, so ladies and gentlemen, so needed. Yay. I can't wait to hear your guys' video. Or I think it's a video series. I don't know what it is. I can't wait. Hi, Kat. But and the other also thing is that it's kind of like when we start to step out of the spiritual community's terms, the spiritual community ways of doing things, and we start to really step outside of that and say, actually, what if you start thinking about it in this way? Actually, what if that's not true? Oof, like, what if being an empath is actually, what if saying I'm an empath is actually hindering your spiritual growth, right? What if sticking to those terms, I'm an empath, is holding you back in some way, right? Being an empath, how about you do this? How about you just start stating that you're going to have empathy for everyone. I'm going to have empathy for everyone. I'm going to have empathy for everyone. I'm going to have empathy for everyone, instead of I'm an empath. I'm going to have empathy for everyone. You want to make a difference in the world? I'm going to have empathy for everyone. I'm going to start learning how to have empathy for everyone. How the hell do you have empathy for people? Instead of I am an empath. I am an empath. How do I stop draining myself from these people's energy? I can feel so much. Yes, that's happening. Yes, you are feeling way more than you ever have before. And guess what? It's going to get stronger and stronger and stronger and stronger. And the stronger it gets, the less people are going to be able to impact it. Okay? So that's the one belief system you need to remember. The brighter you get, the more light you become, the more energy you're going to feel around you. And you think that you think the brighter you get, the more difficult it's going to be in your brightness, because people are going to drain you because you're going to be feeling more. So you're going to expand your light. You're going to shift into a higher frequency. You're going to start feeling more. And because of that, you're going to get reprimanded by feeling and having other people's energy drain you because you're able to now feel more. I don't think so. Mm-mm. Not in my world. Maybe in your world, you can have that. I mean, God knows we can have whatever we want. But in my world, the brighter I become, the bigger my light becomes, the more I'm able to feel and have empathy and love for these people, the less impact it has on me. That's how I'm going to move in my world. The brighter my light becomes, the more powerful my sessions are going to be with my clients. Not the more draining they're going to be. Just think about how you can shift those thoughts, right? So we're all empaths. You were born an empath. You're always going to be an empath. There are some of us on the planet, not naming names, we all know who these people are, that have a very hard time touching base with their ability to feel, right? Feel other people's energies. But every single person on the planet has that capability within them. Every single person. They're born that way. Don't forget, we're all born that spirit, that same light within our hearts. So we're all born with that spark. You know, I was telling my group on Monday, even Donald Trump, even serial killers, okay? Even the most hardest people that you can try to have empathy for. Stop there. You know, can you even begin to have empathy for people that you despise? Okay? Obviously, we're not like ascended masters and, you know, totally enlightened beings. But that's where we're going. That's where we're going. Is being able to remember that we all have that spark in us, in our heart. We all have that same damn light. Every single person on this planet, okay, they came in for whatever reason. They came in to experience whatever their life was going to be, right? Whatever choices they were going to make, they made them. We have our own opinions and reactions to them. And here comes empathy. If you're an empath, start having empathy. Can you begin to try even a little bit to have empathy for the person that pisses you off? For the person that you can't freaking understand how they do what they do? Can you have empathy? Can you put yourself in their shoes? It's hard. It's hard. And that's what we're here to do. That's what we're here to do. That is loving. That is love, right? That's what we are practicing. So get away from I'm an empath and I can feel. And I don't know how to protect my energy. You don't need to protect your energy. Be so grateful that you can feel. Be so grateful that your light is getting brighter and that you can feel even more. Because the more you're able to feel, the more you're able to love. And the more you're able to love, the more you're able to awaken not only the light within you, but the light within that person that you can't love. And that's how we're going to change the world. That's how we're all going to ascend. So get away from this, I'm an empath and I'm feeling too much and I don't know what to do with it and people's energy is draining me. Get away from that. Stop that and go into empathy. How do I have empathy? How do I have empathy for the angry checkout man that's getting mad at the grandma that's taking a long time because she doesn't know how to use the damn chip machine. And you want to yell at that man, right? Empathy. How do I put myself in his shoes? Let me see. What must his day been like? What was he going through? Who knows? But put yourself in their shoes and try to feel what they're feeling. Put yourself in their shoes and try to feel what they're feeling. And stop being a victim and saying, I'm an empath and people's energies are draining me. I don't want to feel that negative energy from that man. Pretty sure that man's not putting his negative energy on you. Pretty for sure you're reacting. So notice when you're saying that somebody is, or if you do say, or if you do experience somebody's energies draining you, or somebody's negative energy, came onto you, or whatever that is, stop for a second and ask yourself, did they really do that? Because they didn't intentionally, probably, most likely. And was it a choice that I took on that energy? Right? Did I sit here and react? Taking on meaning, did I react? So a lot of the times when you feel like you're taking on someone's energy, you're just reacting. You're reacting to the person's energy. And it feels like you're taking it on. But it's just a reaction to that person. Right? So, yeah, and then it comes back to having empathy and love for yourself, right? I mean, I'm talking about other people, but obviously it starts with you, which is really effing hard. But man, if you can nail it on with yourself, thanks Saskia, I love you. If you can nail it, if you can nail empathy for yourself, sweet Jesus, you can nail empathy with anyone. Anyone. Well, almost anyone. Empathy's a doozy. Anyways, okay, my loves. I think I'm done with my little empathy speech. You're nailing it. You're nailing it, guys. Y'alls are doing it. Y'alls be doing it. This ascension ain't no joke. But here's the thing, really fast before you go. Don't go yet. Here's the thing. Here's my belief and my truth. We can talk. Hey, Kelsey, love. We can talk all the beautiful spiritual words we want, right? And we can teach about it. We can make courses about it. We can interview people about it. We can do IG lives about it. But can you practice it in your everyday life? Are you practicing it? Nothing matters if you're not practicing this ascension. Nothing matters if you're not practicing the difficult tasks of ascending. It doesn't matter. Ascension's happening no matter what. We know that. But it can be much more difficult when you don't practice it. So you gotta, hi Casey, you gotta practice it. Hi love. Absolutely necessary. Walking the talk, it is. And that's the hard part. That's the difficult part. But that's what we're here to do. And we're leading the way for others. So if we don't do it, how the hell are the people behind us going to do it? We're given the opportunity right now to change the paradigm. We're given the opportunity right now to practice what it means to ascend. We're getting this opportunity, right? So that those behind us will be able to do it, and maybe not so difficultly like we have. So think about that, you know? Anyways, I love you all so much. Yeah, can you walk it when no one is watching you? Exactly. Can you have empathy when no one gives a shit about you. That's the that's it. You know, we're doing it. We are doing it, my loves. All right, I got to get to work. I am, ladies and gentlemen, really fast. I am, and I'll advertise this, but I'm going to be on the Carrie Murphy show. And I'm going to be on the show on the 23rd of June. And my shit is not prepared. So this whole week I'm getting all the crap I need to get prepared for the show in 3 days. But anyways, I'll send out a social media thingamajigger about it so that everybody can join the live call. I'm super excited about it, but really, really nervous and a little sick to my stomach because, of course, I don't feel prepared or ready, and I'm doubting why the hell I'm on the show. So, but that's my own stuff I'm going through. Maybe we'll do another IG Live on that. But anyways, I will send that information out on June 23rd, 11 a.m. Pacific, Carrie Murphy show. So if you're not signed up for her newsletter to get all the radio shows that she does, you can sign up. Yeah, trust and surrender. That's what I'm doing right now. So anyways, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here. And we'll see you next Wednesday at 11 when we talk about whatever else wants to pop up. In the meantime, love yourselves, have empathy for yourself and others, and have a fabulous, fabulous day. I love you all so much. So good to see so many of you on here. And take care of yourselves. Okay, bye.